Well, good morning, Neil. We're
Well,
here for our July the 3rd update, our match play update. Things have progressed quite a bit. Round one is done, and we'll review some of the matches today. I know you had a good interview. We'll introduce that, and then we'll talk about one of the matches. How are things going from your perspective?
I think it's great. Now, the one thing I would like is it's very simple to do an interview with me regarding your match. I'll give you all the information you need. And so please don't hesitate if I contact you to come. It's always better to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak, as opposed to me because I'm a little dull. But anyway, hopefully people will respond if needed.
You're not dull. You're not dull, but good point on that. Look,
Yep.
if you don't want to look at our mugs, just say, give us 5 minutes. That's all we're asking for. It adds so much to this update.
And the technology is really easy, really easy.
Yeah, you did really well at first.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the two-man bracket. We're just going to do a kind of a review.
Okay.
As we said, Dale Riddell and Steve Aerosmith defeated Alex Peterson and Skylar Lentz. We have a feature interview with Steve Aerosmith that will be coming up later.
Yep.
No big surprises there. Jeff Cortese and Vic Farr, defending champions, won their first round match against Buffoni and Valley, Ryan Valley and Angelo Buffoni. And that was, they're a good team, but boy, that Cortese Farr team, they are tough.
Yep. They
tough.
sure are.
They've won it twice now, so. And the Coils won. Now, of course, Jared and Glenn, everybody's kind of watching them because they've got
not a big surprise.
They've got a super team there, and but I was talking with Glenn,
Okay.
and they had to give away something like 100 strokes or something, and they barely squeaked by.
Yeah,
Over Ken McCarville and Jeff Monroe, they barely squeaked by. So handicaps even up things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kind of an upset in the open category. Glenn Coyle defeated, who's ranked 22nd.
Okay.
Defeated Charles Potvin, who was ranked 11th. So he moves on. Unfortunately for Glenn, he's got to face.
This Coyle name keeps coming up and up and up. Yeah.
He's got to face Andrew Chenette, and who's ranked 3rd. So that should be a good match. And another good match coming up is Joey Marcotte against defending finalist, I think 2 years in a row now, Aidan Coyle.
Wow.
And I don't think anybody wants to see Aidan after his 31 in men's league last week.
Yeah. That'll be a good match, though. I look forward to seeing that match.
Big surprises in the A division, but there is a good match coming up. Zach Cuthill, ranked 4th, is going to play Will Brown, ranked 5. So that should be a good one in the next round.
Yep.
In the B division, Phil Byrne, ranked 27th, beat Dave Trudell, ranked 6th. So he'll move ahead.
How'd it go, Phil?
Yeah, very good. And in the C division, Matt Delorier has been sailing along. He not only advanced with his win over J.P. McAvoy, he played his second round match against Charles Funk, and now he's in round 3. So he's set. He's in the semis right now.
Okay.
As mentioned before, we have a feature interview with Steve Aerosmith over their exciting match with him and Dale over Alex Peterson and Skylar Lentz. Let's listen to it now.
I'm here with Steve Aerosmith. Steve and his partner Dale Riddell had an exciting match between themselves, Skylar Lentz and Alex Peterson. Stephen, describe the match. Tell us how it went.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those matches where on the first tee, I looked at Dale and I thought, we're in trouble. Skylar and Alex were two young lads who have just, I think, recently been members or a year or so. And both big, strong boys from Northern Ontario, really nice guys. And it's the first time Dale and I have ever gone into a match where our opposition used irons on the first tee. And we kind of looked at ourselves and went, oh. And they hit their irons a long way. Anyhow, as it turned out, we actually stole the first hole somehow. I think we made a putt. But these guys were long ball hitters, and that put a challenge in place for Dale and I. So we jumped out to a 1-hole lead, and from that point on, the match turned around a bit, and on 3, 4, and 5, they got ahead of us, and somehow we battled back and won 6 and won 8, I think. Anyways, it didn't matter. By the time we finished the front 9, unfortunately, Dale missed a short putt, just stopped for him on number 9, didn't fall. And you know how they do that sometimes, the Velcro at the end of, and
Very
we won
familiar
the
with
front.
that.
Yeah. So we ended up going 1 up onto the back. And it was at that point that the boys started putting a bit of heat on us, and the match started going back and forth. And it was very close all the way along. It was square. We got onto the 14th tee, and Dale and I hit our typical old guy shot short of the creek, and the young lads pulled out their big dogs. And these drivers, the Skylers in particular, was relatively new, and when the sun was glistening on it, it just shone. And he took a mighty swing, and that ball took off, and as if seized by a giant hand, it went over the pond, and it kept on going. Of course, the other side of that is out of bounds, right?
Yep.
As we all know, because you can't. That's a club rule. And he and his partner both, we could not determine if the balls were in the pond or out of bounds. So consequently, they both had to play a second one. They did the same thing twice, which allowed Dale and I to jump into a 1-stroke lead on that hole. They conceded the hole. And because there was no way we could find the ball, we all made the determination that we didn't know if it was in the pond, on the other side, whatever. All that to say, we go to the next hole, they win it. And then we get to 16. Now, anybody who does this kind of stuff knows that with 3 holes to go and a square match, things can get pretty interesting. Now, on the 16th hole, everybody hit pretty good tee shots, and we were all around the green in 2. Well, Dale and I were not on the green. One of, I can't remember if it was Alex or Skyler, was on the green. And Dale was in the bunker on the left. I was in the rough on the right. They had 1 ball on the green, putting for a birdie. But it wasn't a short putt. It was a lengthy putt. And at that point, as fate would have it, and the golf gods looked down on me, I managed to chip in from the rough.
Well done.
And I might say it was a dandy chip, not my usual standard. So we go on to 17. We're up 1, and on 17, Dale and I stroked that because there was only a couple strokes at play in this match, but 17 being the second gave us a stroke. And I also believe Alex stroked. So we had 3 of us stroking on 17. Well, Alex had a tee shot problem, if I recall. Dale and I were okay, nothing great, but again, we managed to get our bogeys, and by getting a bogey, we managed to cut off Skyler, who parred the hole, and that sent us to 18. So we're 1 up going on to 18. And once again, the lads, oh yeah, it was a good match. And we knew that if it went to extra holes, we were going to run out of gas.
The old boys are getting tired by this point.
Well, we are. We're slowing down. And so the boys, the young lads, to their credit, they pulled out their big drivers and they hit some very long drives. I think in this particular instance, Alex hit the good drive way up there. Skyler's was a little off to the right. And Dale and I were shorter, but in play. So we continued along. And what happened was I got on the green in 3 and Alex got on the green in 3. And so we were both putting for birdies. And he was further, if I recall. And so he had first putt.
Okay.
And my memory's a little vague here, but he hit a beautiful putt. And it was like less than half an inch from going in the hole.
Oh my.
And Dale and I, yeah, exactly, just that close. So then I got mine up, but I still had about a 2.5 footer to make par to saw the hole. And we all know what happens with 2.5 foot putts with
Oh
this
yeah,
pressure.
knee knockers.
Fortunately, for this instance, I made it, and consequently, we won the match 1-up.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I think we were very lucky, and I gleaned throughout the match that Skylar had a big night out the night before. And I suspect that Skylar's big day and night out might have contributed to some of his errant shots, because he certainly had a good game. He just didn't bring it all that day. And I think for Dale and I, that was our good fortune and allowed us to sneak through the first round. And I do say sneak, because that match could have gone either way.
Well, it certainly sounds like it, John. That was a very close match. That's a very exciting match. That's the kind of match that reporting on these match play matches, I'm looking forward to interviewing future people that have very similar to this. Now, Stephen, next you play Miss Jake Calder and Mr. Baptiste. Now, there are two Batistes in the club, so I wasn't sure which one there is, and I don't think you're aware of either one of these gentlemen. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. Well, my thoughts are we're going to need to get a bit more luck again to continue our streak, because I'm not sure that Dale and I have an A game anymore. So we'll have to do the best we can.
Well,
and maybe these boys will have a big night out before the match too.
Well, you could only hope. Stephen, thanks so much
Yeah.
for this. I really appreciate it, and best of luck in your next match. Take care.
My pleasure, and have a safe trip home.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Wow, that was a heck of a match. Two of them played.
No kidding, no kidding. And Steve described it perfectly, as always. Steve is never short for words, that's for sure, and I appreciate his participation.
Yeah, he was excited. He phoned me up after and talked to me about it, and he was excited about that. He was really happy.
Good.
Another good match, but two guys that are a little shy about coming on the air, but you've got all the details from it. Dave Trudell and Ron O'Connell versus Neil Ewart and Steve Liddell.
Yes.
Tell us what happened in that match.
Well, I'm telling you, it was quite a match. Apparently, during the first 10 holes, Dave and Ron were just steady all the way through. And Steve and Sweet Swing Ewart were just hanging on, just trying to keep it close, apparently. Unfortunately for Dave and Ron, once they got to hole 11, they ran into some tree trouble. And that probably cost them at least 2 holes, as Neil and Steve won 4 of the next 5.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
4 of the next 5. The old boys are coming back here, coming back. Neil went pin seeking. Yeah, and Steve Liddell sank a couple of long putts, and I have been the victim of Steve's long putts multiple times.
Isn't that a killer? You think you got them,
Oh,
you think they're dead, and all of a sudden, boom, 14-footer goes in, or some miraculous shot goes in.
15 to 20-footer on 15.
Oh, geez.
And that put Neil and Steve 2 up with 3 to play.
Wow.
2 up with 3 to play.
Okay.
They have 16, they have 17.
Oh.
And that was the match.
That was the match.
2-1.
Yeah.
So the old boys came through in the end.
Well, that's great. What a great match that was.
Yeah, it was good fun.
But you know, that's the beauty of match play.
Yeah.
You think you got
And
someone
handicap.
beat. Yeah, you think you got someone beat, like Steve Aerosmith, I think, chipped in on number 16 or 17 in the video. All of a sudden, whoa, what happened?
Yeah.
I remember an incident when Ron Drosky and his partner, I think it was, I'm trying to remember, he's not here anymore.
Someone.
Jeff Armstrong, I think it was, or something. Anyway, they were playing, they got on 16, the other group is putting for birdie. Jamie Armstrong, both of those guys, Jamie's out of the play.
He's gone.
Ron is behind the bush on number 15. He's on the 15th fairway. He's got to hit through the trees and onto the green for his third shot. He puts it in.
On
Birdie.
the third shot?
Birdie.
Oh my God.
Just, that was over.
Uh-oh.
But that happens in match
Yeah,
play,
of course,
You know?
of course.
So that's why it's so exciting. Listen, looking forward to the next
Yep.
round of matches. They're due by July 31st, but we should be back in a couple of weeks to review some of them.
Yep.
And, hopefully, when you get the result of your match, if Neil calls you up, have that interview.
Please, please. It's good fun. And as I say, it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes. The technology is really straightforward. And it's, as I said earlier, much better to hear it from the horse's mouth than this mouth.
Very good. Until next time, guys, play well.
Take care.